Hello, everyone. Welcome to TALRadio. This is me, RJ Saankhya, hosting through the interview today. Have you ever witnessed a loved one struggle with healthcare and addiction challenges? Imagine the emotional toll it takes on families and communities when they are left feeling helpless. So, today we have the opportunity to explore the remarkable work being done by the Health and Resource Education Center, HHREC for short, who jumps right into the picture to when situations like this arise. So, HHREC is a nonprofit organization committed to creating healthy communities by improving the overall health and quality of life of Bay Area residents by reducing the use of alcohol, tobacco, and other drugs and eliminating racism and all kinds of violence. So, to guide us through this wonderful organization today, I bring you this extraordinary person who has been instrumental in shaping the foundation's initiatives. She is Shanina Shumate, Program Director and Team Head of HHREC, with a steadfast commitment to making a profound impact on the lives of individuals in Alameda County. Shanina strives to build long term partnerships and foster new collaborations that deepen the foundation's legacy. So, without a further ado, let me welcome her onto the show. So, hi, Shanina, how are you doing?
I'm well. How are you? Thank you for the intro. I was like, okay. Thank you
I
so much.
tried. Yeah. So, yeah, I think we're in a great energy to start with the question. So, how about you tell me a little bit of yourself and how you came to join HHREC?
Well, my mom would say to make a long story long, but in short, in this case, so I was born and
Yeah, we've
raised.
got the time. Don't worry.
I was born and raised in Oakland, so I am, I believe, third or fourth generation Oakland. My grandparents were my parents on both. Well, grandparents on both sides, and my parent, they're not originally from California. They're originally from the Midwest. And so my grandmother, my mother, and now me and my sisters are now, educators in the Bay Area. And so with that, um, my family had a huge heart for serving the community, a huge heart for serving family, our friends. And in a way, our house was kind of like the community house. Okay. Everybody knew that they can get something. Okay. Grandma was going to help. My mom was going to help. My dad was going to help. Somebody was going to get some help. And so from those experiences, I learned that not everybody's life is perfect and everybody needs some type of help. And so through those experiences and through education, I found myself doing intergenerational programming, which, deals with everybody in the family, from the babies, the toddlers, teenagers, tweenagers, parents, early parents, and being able to serve the needs of wherever, life is hitting folks, right? And so through my professional and personal growth, I found HHRC during COVID. And so I was looking for something that was a little bit more local, that was able to be, I guess, explore all of my programming experiences, but be able to serve the whole family, not just, like the kid or the teenager, but also the parent and the grandparent, foster kids, emancipation, those who are refugees. And so HHRC serves everybody. And so that's one of the things that I really love about the agency.
Wonderful. That's so inspirational knowing about your family, the work they do. Wonderful. So, could you highlight some of the key programs and initiatives that the foundation has undertaken to improve health and human resources education in the community?
Yes. So the founders of the organization are Tish, Joe, and Lawrence, and they started the agency back in 1984. So it started off really small. One of our first programs was Black Women's Media Wellness Project, which focuses on the needs of mental health and wellness of Black women, and of course, all women. And those who are associated. And so it started with addressing the mental health needs of residents in Oakland and then eventually Alameda County. And so we have a total of 6 programs. One of them I just named Black Women's Media Wellness Project. When it started, it was to make sure that Black women had a place and a location to be able to get mental health and wellness services. The second program that we have is our downtown TAY, and TAY stands for Transitional Age Youth, and that serves 16 to 25-year-olds, which we have job readiness program, we have mental health and wellness programming. We also have peer support programming that's there, and a bunch of other things that are there. We also have our 10 by 10 program, which has several components to it that focus on like physical health through our Get Fit program. We have Rethink Your Drink, where it's a presentation that discusses changing the way we drink, so reducing the amount of sodas and increasing the amount of water that we drink. And then we also have our We Move for Health is basically one of the biggest, it's called the signature program that we have. And basically it just what the name says, We Move for Health. So getting people's bodies moving, and that's for all ages. And so next year it will be in person. And so I'm super excited about that. This year, for the past 2 or 3 years, for COVID, it's been virtual and it's been great, but there's been a need to put it back in person. So that's what we'll be working on next year. And then we also have our CBL, which is our community-based learning program. And long story short, is basically we provide free training. We have a total of, I believe, 12 trainers, and there's an application on the website. If your organization is like, hey, I need training on seniors, or how to best work with API, or how to best increase enrollment, or whatever case scenario, we most likely have a trainer for it. We also have the mental health trainers that do mental health services on there as well. And then we also have our MHSA 63, which is our special project that we contract with Alameda County Behavioral Health to make sure that people are aware of mental health services in Alameda County. And then lastly, we have our Health Through Art program. And it's basically, how can we use art to better cope with the stresses of life? So basically all of the programs deal with prevention and early intervention. So our hope is that these programs will be able to be preventative and early intervention methods before a crisis happens, if that makes sense. So that is all of our programs. And that doesn't include all the special projects Alameda County gives us as well. But we're very honored to be able to serve our, the residents of Alameda County and partner with different organizations.
Wonderful, big list. And I was counting like all the good things, incorporated into one thing. I think is wonderful. Yes. So when I visited your website, one thing that got highlighted was the Black Women's Media and Wellness Project, right? Mm-hmm. So tell us the impact of it and how exactly does this project function?
So basically that project is ran by our program manager, Allison. And like I said, that was the first program that our founders basically created. And that was really to address the concurring conditions and environmental risk factors that Black women were going through in Oakland. So the over-policing or underfunding their schools, resources, the violence, and basically to provide a safe place for folks to vent, get resources, do retreats. So we have our Be Still retreats that allow women to relax, and things like that. So that project was really the heart of making sure that mental health was promoted and is promoted in Black women in the Black women communities.
Wonderful. So my next question would be about if you can shed some light on any collaborations or partnerships the foundation has formed with local government bodies or healthcare providers.
Yeah, we have a total of 6 fiscal, FISCAL, fiscal. So like with Alameda County Behavioral Health, that has nothing, well, I don't want to say nothing to do with our programming that I just mentioned, but basically how we partner and collaborate with and are a physical agent for those partners. So for example, we have the workforce education, it's called WET. Sorry, I wish I would know the acronym, but I want to say Workforce Education Training. And that is a partnership with Ohlone College. And Ohlone College has this tremendous network where there are healthcare navigators who are on different campuses to promote health and wellness on campus. And with that, what we do is we partner with them to make sure that they have resources, any ideas to help spend the money down, and how they can best partner with the community to promote mental health and wellness on campus, but also in the communities that the students are associated with, right? And so those are one of contracts of 5. I think it's a total of 6 contracts that we have that we partner with. And also each program partners with different CBOs or schools or colleges. So for example, our Downtown Tay program is partners with Oakland Promise and also with Dewey Academy, which is a transitional school for students who may not have all their credits to graduate on time. And so we provide programming for them as well. We also have partnered with BH Brilliant Minds that the owner, the CEO and executive director is Barbara Howard. And basically what she does is a series of different events. One is coming up Juneteenth, which is June 24th, which will be at the West Oakland Youth Center, where we partner with her to be able to put that event on. So there's several. I'm just going to name a few. Stuff in there, but we want to make sure that we partner with organizations, nonprofit schools that are impacting the participants that we are serving.
Great. So what are some of the major challenges that this organization faces while trying to achieve its goals?
I think COVID, COVID threw like a monkey wrench in everything. So imagine for 30 years, you've been in person, brick and mortar for 30 years. Now, I'm not saying we're, totally anti like internet or online programming, but that is the base of the history of the program. And then all of a sudden COVID hits and you have to literally do a 180 to be able to make sure that students participants, students, and those that we partner with are being served, because we still, hold a contract, right? And so we are blessed to have an executive director, Talia Bennett, who can think of her toes and to be able to, I would say, pivot, and so that we were able to meet our deliverables, but also serve the community in a different way. And it did open our eyes of how we can diversify programming in a hybrid setting. I think that's one major thing. Also, depending on the program, each program has its own challenges, for example. Like one challenge, for example, that we have, so we serve our seniors. And so in our senior group, making sure that they're not being scammed, like being aware of different, technologies and services and being able to access the internet, things like that, whereas sometimes with our Tay youth, for example, the question might be, trying to graduate high school or trying to, apply to college, or maybe there's some family dynamics that are happening in the home that we need to do resources on. So COVID kind of presented these, the things that seem small, but were very, I would say, litten up so that we can address those issues. Because a lot of families, lost their homes, lost their apartment. And a lot of them were living, in one apartment with 2 bedrooms with 15 people and 1 bathroom, and so to be able to help and provide some support and resources for them to be able to, also, find housing, to be able to, those students to finish school, unfortunately, during COVID, because that was really tough, because a lot of, like, for example, students who were in college, some of them had to drop out because, maybe they were parents and they had to help their kid transition, because their kid is, going to school online, and they became the teacher, so just being able to be present with our participants and our organizations as we pivot together and support each other in the transition during COVID. But it did speak to our strength in like communication, teamwork, not giving up, and still being able to serve our participants in a different way.
It's wonderful how you swim through it, and it's such a beautiful story. So, I would like to know, how does this foundation involve volunteers and community members in its initiatives, and what role do they play in driving the change?
Well, I think part of the roots of this program is community, right?
Yeah.
And there's different ways we get community voice. So each program is different. So I'm just going to do two programs in the sake of time.
Yeah.
So
Sure.
one of the programs, which is MHSA program, which I mentioned, they have to do a series of listening sessions from different communities. So veterans, TAY, seniors, LGBTQ, like there's series of, I think they did a total of 17 listening sessions, along with like 5 listening sessions and then community session groups. And part of that is getting information for the MHSA report, which is a big report if people want to look at it. It's a lot of pages, but basically it's holding the county accountable to make sure that we are listening to the needs of the community, and that is basically being public record. And so we hold the responsibility in sharing that with the county to make sure that we are listening to the community, and then how is that being reflected in the report. And so they just completed the 30-day comment 30-day comment where folks in the community reviews the report, and they give their public comment regarding the report. The other thing, that's a larger scale. Smaller scale, for example, some of the programs have a CAB, which stands for Community Advisory Board. And those are folks in the community that are interested in serving and providing feedback for that program. So for example, Black Women's Media has a CAB, Wiser has a CAB, the TAY has a CAB, and then HTA has a CAB. So these folks are in the CAB who are from the community, where they have vested interest in that program due to maybe they know someone that is reflected in the program, or they're in that community themselves, to ensure that we are getting community impact, of course, and input regarding programs and how we do it. So that is 2.
Thank you. That's great.
Yeah.
So I know there are sure a lot of success stories, but give us one success story that is very close to your heart, that has made a very lasting impact.
I'll tell you one that's in transition. So when we work with our TAY, right? Our TAY
Yeah.
youth, transitional age youth, it's literally from 15 to 25. Okay. We get to know the kid for a very long time. And so
Yeah.
it is really great to see growth over time. And I really like that. So I can write really good letter of recommendations. Those are my favorite ones to write. And one of the kids had to learn that education is important. And sometimes you have to coach kids through the process. A lot of times, I know as adults, go to school, okay, go to college, get a degree. And some people are like, well, what if that, some kids rebuttal, and I get it. And so one of the things that we do is we actually coach kids through the process of having them self-identify why is school or why is education important. And so through that, we explore with them. We give them tools to explore, give them people to talk to so that they can make a sound decision for themselves. And so through that process, one of the youth decided to take one college class. I said, I'm good. I was like, one step at a time. I'm good. And so through that one class, he then realized that I just don't want to do this particular job all the rest of my life. I said, do you know that we have a world? Okay, it's international. So you don't even have to stay in California, let alone Oakland. You can go to Germany and do that job. You can go to Japan and do that job. And he was like, I never thought about that. I said, you need to consider. Okay. And so with that, to be able to coach kids through so that they can explore and learn and access and understand that education has its place is very impactful. So it's a slow, gradual thing, but I think part of that is it's sustainable because it's a decision that they're making. I also let Tay know, services for Tay, especially for, it's till 25. So I'm always marketing education. Okay. Can't force somebody to go, but it's really important and valuable that they utilize the services, and at least even if it's just one class, so they know, what education offers. So that's my one.
Wonderful.
The aha moment.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I can already see through your energy how much you enjoy working here. So tell us, how fulfilling is this work for you?
It's one of the things I really love is having people find the hero in them.
Yeah.
Like, you have to find the hero. Like, there's no Prince Charming that's going to come. I would love that. Lord knows I would love somebody to come and like push the button and solve all my problems. Okay. But one thing my mentor told me is like, we're all born with our adult teeth. We just got to wait and like fill it out and coach it through, right? And so one of the things about programming that's important, and not just the agency I work for, but any agency, programming is a part of people's lives, and sometimes the only thing that is positive in their lives, right? And so, for example, I used to work with foster youth, and sometimes community programs is it. There's no family. There's none. The only people they know are social workers or those community programs that raised them, right? And so with that, community programs have an impact on people's life. And I don't take that lightly, because of the fact that we do live in a world that's a little cray-cray. And so if we could be that one thing that's happy and glad, and also to be able to have integrity and to be able to help or coach people through problems, to give resources and solutions, that's what I really enjoy, is the doing life with people. And although it's not our programs have a particular goal and mission, the joy is that it's fulfilling a need that our community needs. So that's my joy.
Inspiring. Inspiring. Wonderful. So for the final question, tell us, how can a potential donor approach you, and tell us if there are any other different ways that one can support the organization.
Yes. So we on our website, there's a way you can donate right on the website. We are always looking for donations. Amen. Also, each program may have certain needs. So I would always encourage folk, if you're interested in being a part of one of the programs CAB, or interested in partnering with one of the programs, their contact information is on the website. My information's on the website. The executive director's information's on the website. So we do look forward to partnering and collaborating or sharing information with the community. So that is a huge way to support our agency. You can contact us directly from the website. There's a way you can give actually on the website as well.
Great. Perfect. So that's a wrap. Wow, it's been a wonderful interview. Trust me, your energy is so beautiful. It's radiating, and I'm really glad to be knowing about an organization which works for such large purpose. And I really appreciate the good work you're doing.
Thank you for having us. I greatly appreciate the opportunity to interview with you guys. Greatly appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Actually, thank you for taking time and giving us this energetic interview about the organization. So yeah, that's it.
All good. All good. It's all good. Thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah, thank you again. Thank you. So that was Shanina Shumate, Program Director of Health and Human Resource Education Center. I hope you find this interview insightful, and for more such interviews, stay tuned to TALRadio, powered by Touch Your Life Foundation. And this is me, Saankhya, signing off for today. Take care, you all.